Should you as a caster's main pool for highest? What the are you talking about, bruh? What highest? You can't even get an argument with this shit. A day one player and basically day one watcher, I was searching for Honkai guide videos back in the days and stumbled upon your OG speed video. Best on the internet, by the way. The only speed guide you guys ever need. I broke it down to you guys, you know, how exactly does speed work, how does action value advance work, how does speed buff work. Okay, very good, you know, taught to me by my college professor, Dr. Luna, right? Anyways, all I remember from the video was to cast Asa's speed buff right after a DPS turn for maximum action value, and I like this informative, heavily accented Singaporean man. It's been an amazing journey watching you grow as a creator. My girlfriend used to tease that I love this Singaporean man more than her. Not trying to be parasocial, but thanks for all the entertainment you've given to my life. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it about, man. I feel pretty good. My team evolution has been Wind, Danhain, and Jingyuan. Holy shit. Kafka and Jingliu, Firefly and Acheron, Herta and Caceres. Okay. I'm looking for some pooling opinions in the future. Do you think Mighty is worth getting on a rerun? Current plans are to get Anixa, probably the fake characters. Should I skip Hyacinth, Ezio, as though I already have sustains? Let's take oh my god, wrong game. Okay, let's take a look at what we have over here. Let's get to Bav Kavka. Okay. E1 3B. Okay, E1 run. E2 Acheron. E2 Kafka. E1 Blade. Oh, E2. Oh, wow. A lot of DPS Eidolons. And these, I believe, are all of your supports. Or rather, the standard 5 stars. The free doctor ratio that never saw the light of day. I don't think it's that crazy of an account, though, right? He got some good-ass picks, right? He got the E1 3B. Wait, you skipped Babin. Wait, you skipped... Oh, wait. I did thought you skipped Yao. Okay, yeah. No, I was thinking this makes sense because if you're playing Super Break and Acheron, you technically didn't really care about Babin that much, especially if you're not trying to do like sustainless 0 cycles. I think it's okay. And then now you have your E1 Tribi. You pivot back into D Herta as well as Caceres. Caceres is E2. Your limited sustain is Lingsha and Hue and Aventurine. So you have, do you have Fu Xuan? Okay, 3 limited sustain. Okay, the first question that I will address for you right now, right? The first question I will address was, should you pull for Hyacinth? And hopefully maybe this will answer a lot of you guys' chat question. Should you as a caster's main pull for Hyacinth? The first thing you should be taking a look at is gonna be the number of pulls you have remaining. Oh my god. What Hyacinth? What the are you talking about, bruh? What Hyacinth? You can't even get an argument with this shit. Oh, hell nah. Okay, yep. You know, unless you want to swipe, which, you know, I never ever advocate for swiping in the gacha game, by the way, right? I'm completely free to play for the most part, right? So I never advocate, but I would say at this point, you know, even if you wanted to, you couldn't. In my opinion, right? If you play gacha games, it depends on why do you play gacha games. The Fate collab is probably the first time you casuals, you gacha tourists have ever seen a collab banner from the big boys. So you guys are probably thinking, okay, maybe they get a rerun for the collab. Maybe they get you know, they give us like free pools, right? Maybe the, you know, there's no Eidolons or like, nah, bruh. Generally speaking, for any gacha game, almost any gacha game in the world, the moment a collab is done, they never come back. The only exceptions are if the company, right, both parties, right, both Mihomo as well as Nasuverse, yeah, Hoyoverse and Nasuverse, they both have to sign and agree that, okay, we're gonna slam out another collab rerun. MiHoYo would never have the intellectual property rights to rerun a collab banner ever again. So that is what makes collabs like the real limited banner of any gacha games. This is like real limited. So the moment it's gone, you might as well just treat it as it's gone forever. If you want to think about it from like a Korba sense, right? You probably have to pay quite a hefty sum of fees to the other company that wants to do a collab with you because you are getting their permission to introduce their IP into your own game. The first launch will always be the most hype Because people, everybody's looking for this collab. It's the first of a kind, never seen before, that everybody will be hyped, right? To do a collab rerun, they most likely will have to pay that amount of fees again, but the return on the same investment is probably not going to be that high. Every single gacha banner period, a rerun will never outperform or match the first banner, right? It has been the universal rule of any gacha game. Honkai Star Rail as a game, it doesn't really matter if you are going for zero cycles, if you're going for the meta team comps, you're going for the fast clears, because at the end of the day, there's no competition, right? I feel like the fundamental rule for, at least that's how I play gacha game, the fundamental rule of any gacha game is to collect. So me personally, right, looking at the fact that you only have 30-ish pools, assuming we get 80 pools in 3.3, so you have 110. That is barely enough to secure a hard pity. I don't think you need to care too much about the version 3.3 banner. You can save for the fake collab. I will leave it up to them to cook up Finon and see what his kit truly represents. But from where it stands right now, I noticed that you do not have Sunday. So whether or not Finon is gonna be an inclusion to your team, I personally feel it also probably wouldn't be that important. I think at the end of the day, trying to cook up with Saber just from like the fun perspective, that's what I would personally do, right? I was thinking of giving tribute to your E2 S1 casuals, but the thing is E2 S1 casual is so strong, you should just be giving this E1 tribute to your Herta team. And then for your casuals team, you can just let this cook with the RMC, Ranmei, and Gallagher, right? RMC, Ranmei, Gallagher, this works completely fine, right? Especially at an E2 S1 casuals, this is very, very doable. Because between Hertas running Tribi or casuals running Tribi, I would say because your Herta is easier as well, she stands to gain a little bit more. And because casual is so strong, you want to try to balance out the both powers, right? I think your units choices so far, generally speaking, has been completely fine. And keep in mind, you also put for Jingdu and Kafka, right? And I feel like this should also be taken into account for a lot of the players' account nowadays, which is you did pull for your old units in version 1, and we know for a fact they're getting a buff. I don't know what the buff is going to be, but since you already got them, there is a very, very good chance that they might just come back into the meta again, which opens up your possibility of team building for even more of the different scenarios. So you shouldn't really just log in to only version 3 team slots. So for example, vertical investment will hire into casters, because you still have your E2 Kafka and your Jingliu at E0S1. So now into your units itself. Looks good. I would make the Herta faster. At least 118, because 108 is a bit too slow. You miss out on one action by 134, especially if you mentioned that you wanted to do the double zero cycle, right? And if you want to do a double zero cycle, then it kind of is what it is. One thing to note is that your Tribi, you mentioned, is on S4 DDD. So unfortunately for you, S4 means you need a little bit more speed than 118. I believe it's still 118. It's at 118.7. Yeah, I think that's okay. All right, just try to hit the additional 10 speed for Herta, then she can get the 134 effective. Then you can squeeze out the additional action for the very first wave. Next out 135 is completely fine. You can actually consider dropping his speed down a little bit more, since you're already running 3B with Dansan Sans, because at this point the 135 doesn't really change too much because you want to play with the DDD, right? Then Lingsha Quid Pro Quo is okay. 4k HP, 900 defense, energy regeneration rope. Break effect is very low. Okay, honestly, whether or not your break effect is that low, I don't think it's that big of a concern, because it's technically just up for your outgoing healing, right? So if you don't really care about outgoing healing that much, it should be fine. Then you can just cycle your skill points into Herta and the next out himself, right? Maybe Lingsha needs to do a bit more to keep the bunny outgoing. Okay, Firefly, I mean, if you want to play her, I think she's fine. You already got Fuke, you already got Lingsha, you already got Ranmei, so I don't think there's any difference out of E0 S0 Firefly. So this is completely G. Fuke, 164, Glamorph on speed. Okay, this is fine. Your break effect is a little bit low. I'll try to make this break effect higher by changing this into break effect rope. But this is only for a break effect team anyways, so just from that alone, I think that is gonna be the way to go. But you do have a pretty decent amount of speed, so I think I'll just leave it up to you. This is 160 speed gel. Holy shit. Most of the time for Jiao Qiu, I try to just run him on Von Weck so that he guarantees a very, very first turn. And then by the second wave, you can charge up the ultimate to instantly cast DDD, not DDD, sorry, Eagle 4-piece twice. So I'll only change it to Von Weck. But if you don't really care about the Von Weck and you're okay with this Luxaka additional attack buff to Aircon, I think it's completely fine. 4k HP looks pretty good. EHR, bit low. Actually, no, it's fine. It's okay. Yeah. RMC, yo, chat, fun fact. Hyacinth's signature light code. You know? Yep. Okay, anyways, yeah, I think that's gonna be okay. Rame, I do prefer running to be a little bit slower. I always prefer a slow Rame, and that's fine. Jing Liu, she's more or less dead. Holy shit, I have not seen this set for like 2,000 billion years. Consider changing to the 4-piece scholar if you have to. Aircron is looking a little bit slow. This is E2, right? Yeah, so if you are slamming this with like your... Okay, never mind. If you slam with Sparkle, it's okay. Because you can't run Sunday anyways, right? So if you slam with Sparkle, this is actually okay. Jingyuan, you have no Sunday. You can just forget about him. Kafka, this is chill. Black Swan. I want Black Swan to be a little bit faster since your Kafka also has a signature weapon. I always try to make sure that Black Swan is always going to be faster than Kafka. Can consider running a little bit. Is this already on? Okay, yeah. If you want to, you could even consider running this on like attack boots. But in the future, if we're going to be benching Black Swan for the brand new physical DOT, then this build is fine. You may even consider changing this to an energy regeneration route for a little bit more procs over there, right? So that's going to be done. Black Swan, I mean, Ezra Ezra, I feel like when a brand new Nihility comes, because eventually, it really just boils down to if that brand new Nihility slot can replace the glue in terms of the harmony support. Because right now, DOT, you're probably running Kafka, Black Swan, Huan Huan. Your third slot is either going to be Ranmei or Babin. I think most players, especially if you have a good invested Babin, you're going to run Babin. Your account does not have Babin, so if you are going to be playing DOT, it depends on whether the brand new DOT unit can replace Ranmei. If I would have to make a guess, probably. Because Ranmei at this point, her niche is not really that much for DOT anyways. So you could run a triple DOT, then that would be pretty decent. Then you can still keep a Black Swan. And it just depends on what the brand DOT is going to be. Huan Huan, very, very good pickup, especially for your DOT team. So this is fine. Energy regeneration, you can try to get a little bit more speed, but I wouldn't be too worried about it. And change this to a HP percentage sphere. Outgoing healing. I'll prefer this to be outgoing healing, but it's not the end of the world. Maybe you can find something with like speed substats. Blade 1. Oh, this blade is cooked. Ooh. Yeah, this blade is a little bit cooked, not gonna lie. Probably needs to cook more. But the thing is, you don't even have Sunday, right? It depends on the blade rework, right? It depends on the blade rework. Chaosarus 94. This is E2, so I don't think there's anything to talk about over here. Neutral rolls. Really, really good. Decent. Oh my god, you actually hit 2 speed here and still managed to be below 95. That's pretty good. Double HP main. Yeah, I think this character is fine. You already got the E2, so it's G. Where is your... Oh, you only have 1 DDD. Yeah, try to pull better and slam on that second DDD. Can you use Eagle 4-piece on Blade? I mean, technically you can if you don't need a crit rate. Yeah, you can always use 4-piece Eagle on Blade. It's a viable build. Aventurine, I don't really think you will ever use him as well. You don't really run follow-up, and if you want to slot him into an Aircron team, sure, but Gallagher still does the job pretty efficiently, and your Gallagher is also fine, right? So, I mean, you really build up to a 176 Gallagher, good amount of energy regeneration. This is completely sufficient for an Aircron sustain, so you don't really care about Aventuring that much. Then your Lingsha can support your Super Break, and then Huan can support your D-Herda, right? Something like this. Or Cassius, you can run Gallagher with Cassius, then Lingsha sticks with D-Herda. Depends on what you make. I think that Aventuring just doesn't really add too much value if you want to invest in that route. Rest of the units are pretty much done. I am looking forward to this. I'm not sure if you are also aware, Silver Wolf is also getting a buff. There might be a chance that you can actually replace Silver Wolf to be in the same slot as Aircron. I talked about this briefly in my CM Pony opinions for Cypher and Hyacinth, which is we know for a fact that Silver Wolf is getting a buff. So if Silver Wolf is going to be getting a buff, and if her roles can match up quite nicely as a brand new new age version 3 Nihility, there's a pretty good chance that if you want to run an Aircron team, that's going to be completely viable. And maybe you probably don't even feel the pressure of pulling for Cypher anyways, but I think from what we've discussed just now, me personally, I will always just prioritize to fake collab first just because I like proof of collab in a gacha game, right? So that's pretty much it. Other than that, I don't think anything else needs to be discussed about too much. In terms of your relic or rather stamina efficiency, you can just go... do you even need a brand new 3.3 relics? I mean, the healer set is pretty niche though. It's pretty niche. I probably don't think you need it because one of them is basically for Hyacinth, and I'm not sure if the other one is for like final or some shit, but yeah, I think you're kind of chill. Just focus a little bit more on getting your herd out, a little bit more speed. You can forget about the break sets. You can just block in a little bit more for your... I mean, your gears are fine. Maybe DOT, like if you want to pick up DOT again, unless they make another DOT 4-piece that power creeps the old DOT 4-piece. That would be pretty diabolical, right? Because we're going to be getting a brand new buff anyway. Glamorph, honestly, as a DOT set, is nothing too crazy, right? It's just attack buff. Doesn't really change too much. No rest pen, no like additional defense down. So I wouldn't be too surprised if they power creep Glamorph in the future. Then that would be pretty, because it's always a brand new 4-piece into a brand new 2-piece, right? So maybe something to consider. Other than that, I think this account is pretty much good to go. You are at 1 cycle with this patch, and you are using the team that this was before you even pull for Anexa. Okay, so he's basically using a team that I basically gave him, right? So you didn't give tribute to your E2 caster, slept on Rame, Arms, and Gallagher, and then this team is with Vidira, right? So, hey, not even pre-watch, by the way. Not even pre-review, by the way. So this is very, very good. So I feel like if you eventually want to get your Nexa, I do believe that getting a double 0 cycle is very, very possible. Yeah, you can just run Sustainless Herda over here, and then this will be a very, very easy 0 cycle on the second half. So yeah, I think that is pretty much it for this account. I think overall, I feel like overall, A-. I think A- is pretty fair. Right? So, all the best for your fake collab. All the best to getting the unit that you really, really want. Exclamation review to find out how you can join our account reviews right here. Unfortunately, I don't think my PC can handle Quadra stream, so we're still gonna stick in with YouTube and Twitch, cause I already crashed once. Yeah, word of the day is gonna be Quadra. Join Twitch, join YouTube, join Discord, join Twitter. All the best. We're gonna see you guys next time. Take care.